background is I graduated from UC Berkeley in electrical engineering. It was back before the Silicon Valley, back before the computer and electronics business really, exploded, and I didn't see any future in it. So I went to law school. And I became an attorney. I joined the same firm I'm with now 35 years. We needed a tax guy, and I went back to night school and got my master's degree in taxation. And so tax has been a part of my practice ever since. 2011 was a year that I think everybody was pretty much disappointed in with Congress. People have become so polarized, they just can't agree on anything. And what we really need, and both parties know this, is to fix our tax system. And there's two basic things. Republicans emphasize one thing, Democrats emphasize another, but there's a real chance that by fixing both of the problems that they are focused on, we can get some really good tax legislation done. On the Republican side, it's simplification. It is just so complicated to do a tax return these days. You can't do it yourself. There's so many credits and deductions and built-in loopholes. The fact of the matter is, we should simplify that. You should be able to actually do your own tax return and maybe even do it in an hour. So the Republicans want that. Let's give it to them if we can get what we need, which is fairness in the tax system. Wall Street has manipulated Congress. Capital gain rates were fixed at 15%. Then, as if that wasn't bad enough, they say dividends, also a flat 15% on dividends. Contrast that with people who work for a living. The moment you earn more than, if you're a single taxpayer, $34,500, you're paying at the 25% rate, and it goes up from there. So there's a penalty for working for a living as opposed to living off your dividends and capital gains on the stock market. In 2009, the 5 highest paid hedge fund managers, between them, earned $13.6 billion. These guys are making 35% more than the lotto payoff in a single year. Most of that money that they earn at 15%. There's something called carried interest. We have given them a tax break. Why should we allow them to be taxed at a lower rate than people who are making around $50,000 a year? It doesn't make sense. 2013 is the year that if we give the Republicans that tax simplification they want, and we get the fairness we want, we can really come up with a system the way it should be. That's why I want to be in Washington in 2013. As it turns out, the middle class not only pay a higher percentage, but they actually do pay way more dollars to the U.S. revenue than the wealthy. If you look at only the income tax, it's true, 15% of $10 million is a lot more dollars than 25% of $50,000. But of the total U.S. revenue, 41% comes from the individual income tax. 41% comes from the payroll tax, exactly equal to the income tax. When you get paid on a paycheck, there's something called FICA, F-I-C-A. They take out roughly a little less than 8% of your paycheck, and your employer matches that until you make $110,000 in 1 year, and then it stops. Let's say somebody actually earned $10 million working a job. Anything over $110,000 was free of the payroll tax. That is a big bonus to the wealthy. Because it's limited to $110,000 or less, it's directed at the middle class. Everybody wants a balanced budget. We don't want to run up this big debt. But if you spend more money now to get the economy back in shape, it'll pay itself back once the economy is up and running and paying off. I think the Tea Party actually served their purpose. During the early Bush years, where our economy was roaring along, there was absolutely no justification for spending more money than we were taking in. But it happened. And so that was the lead up to where we are today. But eventually, once the economy's back going, we got to balance the budget. Ryan Plan number 1, which was rolled out maybe 6 or 8 months ago, wanted to privatize Social Security and get rid of Medicare. When those Republican congressional representatives went back to their constituents, they found out real quick nobody wants to get rid of Social Security. So they rolled out Ryan Plan number 2, which doesn't mention Social Security. I have bumper stickers in there. My old bumper sticker said Save Social Security, but it says Save Medicare. Medicare is a great system. It's worked. It's popular. I think Medicare should be for everybody. If the payroll tax continues to be taken out of everybody's paycheck beyond $110,000, that goes a long way to solving both the Social Security and the Medicare problem. That month that we pay the health care costs, I don't take a paycheck generally, because that is such a big hit. It's roughly $1,000 a month per employee. For the last 10 years, every year there's been a sizable increase. We've got to do something to stop it. Education is something that's absolutely critical to our country. I honestly believe that the brightest part of the United States future is ahead of us. We're throwing the future away by underfunding education. The best example of this is right now we have this really high unemployment rate, but yet there's an unbelievable number of jobs going unfilled because no one has the education to fill those jobs. When I was at Berkeley, we were on the quarter system. My tuition was $150 a quarter. I could afford that.
I paid $27.50.
There you go. And that's reasonable.
During the Depression.
If we invest money in education, these positions will be higher paying positions, which means they'll be paying higher taxes. So that money is going to come back if we invest in the future now. But for some reason, we can't seem to get the message across to an awful lot of people. And Doug LaMalfa and Sam Anistad are definitely two of those people. I ran for Congress in 2010 against Wally Herger, who had been in office for 24 years. And let's just face it, that was not a year to have Democrat next to your name. But I still got 43% of the vote. So it was close enough that I felt, give me another chance because I can do it this next time.
Thank you.